It is swelteringly hot outside and you don't want to take that trek to the beach. It's sandy, it's crowded, and you don't want to drag those kids across that hot sand. You've been talking about installing that pool forever now, and you're looking at pulling the trigger. But before you do, there are 10 things you need to know before you go spend that money, because one of them could cost you thousands of dollars and weeks, if not months, of heartache. Let's talk about it. So before you even start, check the zoning laws. There are a variety of limitations throughout different cities, and you want to make sure that you don't start a project that you don't have the right to, or the city's going to make you come back and fix. Many cities have strict maintenance or liability laws that they enforce, and they will not make exceptions. Virginia Beach, for example, has very specific laws regarding pool barrier safety, gate, that may just fall outside the responsibility of the pool builder, and you'll want to be familiar with those before you actually start that consultation. And you don't want to unknowingly put your family at risk or even money at risk of liability. Next, you're going to want to focus on what type of pool do you want. And there are 3 main styles that you can consider here. The 3 in-ground are going to be vinyl lined, fiberglass, or concrete. Now each one is going to have their pros and their cons and their overall cost attached to them. And a good pool builder is going to be able to consult you on what the variety of that could look like. They will help you set up a good budget, stick to it. And what's really important here is you don't get to change that half of the way through. An experienced pool builder is going to be able to guide you with their many years of experience on which one's going to fit your backyard, your taste, and your budget. It's important to go ahead and nail these things down early so that you don't set yourself up for big changes in the cost or budget later down the road. Next, you're going to want to think about longevity. And it's going to be really tempting to go with one of the cheaper options because it's installed faster and it's much less expensive. But if you're going to be at this house for a long period of time, it's going to be important to look at the overall scope of what you're wanting, the complexity, and then how long do things actually last. Plus, if you're trying to really be the envy of the neighborhood and have all those water features and lights and things that can come with it, the easiest way to do that is with a concrete pool, which is both going to last the longest and be the most customizable. Now, the downside to the concrete is the installation period time is much, much longer. There's much more prep time, there's a lot more wiring. With that customization, the more custom it comes, the longer the install period. Now, with the pandemic last year that happened, pool installations are up anywhere between 25 to 35% nationwide. That being said, if you're wanting to get the best pool installer in the area, that lead time for the installation could be weeks, if not months. Not to mention that the concrete, the install period, the cure time takes anywhere between 4 and 12 weeks, depending on how customized you get it. But I can say with the concrete pools, out of all the homes that I've seen resold, concrete pools both last the longest, look the best, and have the highest resale value. Pay once and cry once, that's what I say. The next thing you're going to focus on is your circulation system. This is a very, very important thing to pay attention to, and there are a ton of options. I will say, much like when you're going out and picking out a car, you want to pick the thing that's going to require the least amount of maintenance over the long term. It may be tempting to get something that's far cheaper and far more labor intensive, but it ends up costing more over the lifetime of that pool. The thing I would like to add here is that there are heat pumps and solar water heating systems, a variety of heating systems out there to extend the seasonality of the pool. If you're going to go ahead and get the pool, I would say go ahead and spring for that extra cost of getting that pool heated so that you can enjoy it for a longer period of time. It's always going to be cheaper to install these things up front than it is to retroactively install them. So if you want to be the envy of all your neighbors and have that access to that pool for another month, I highly suggest you explore that option. Now, if you're like me on this next one, I'm in a period of my life where I value time above anything else. My kids are not going to be in the house but for another 7 to 8 years. And so I want to spend the weekends and evenings with them or enjoying the pool. So as you're considering buying the pool, you want to make sure that it's a line item in your budget to pay someone else for maintenance and upkeep. I will absolutely say that a well-maintained pool, one, everything will last longer, but then when you actually go to resell the home, a pool that is not well-maintained or looks gross or is cracked or doesn't look like it's been cared for very well actually ends up becoming a detriment to the value of the home. It brings the value down rather than up. I did a quick search just recently. I looked at the last 90 days just in Virginia Beach. Homes sold with a pool that was in good condition for 7% more and 30% faster. Yes, that data does not lie. So go ahead and hire that certified and trained pool technician to come out and take care of that on a regular basis so that you spend your time enjoying the pool rather than maintaining it, and that you get all the benefits of that pool when you come to sell, of getting more money. Hey, find it helpful? Smash the like button. Now this next piece is really just going to be more of a piece of advice when it comes to outfitting your pool. Don't skimp. You're going to be installing these things into your pool, like water features and lights and all the little extras. I get it adds up and you want to be careful. But this is not like a car where it's easy to bolt things on, especially when it comes to concrete or things underground. It is way, way more expensive to do these things retroactively. So take your time, budget for it, and go for the little extras. A piece of advice here would be, what would the 10-year-old you be thanking you for in 10 years for what the decisions that you make today? I want you to really imagine what this would look like. Is the hot tub worth going for? Are those underwater lights that change colors going to be worth it? Or is springing for the extra fancy water fountain not something that you're really going to value in the next 5 to 10 years? But if you know me, I'm a dream big kind of guy, so I tend to budget for the things that I really, really want. Next piece is going to be landscaping. It's going to be something you want to throw into that budget for extras. Many pool builders do not do landscaping, and so they may have a partner or a company that they know of. We also have a list of contractors and pool builders that we've worked with in the past. But is a line item that sometimes people do not consider, and landscaping can add up pretty quickly, especially when it comes to hardscaping. You may want to think about and consider things like shaded areas for when it's really hot outside. You jump out of the pool and want an area to be able to sit underneath. Landscapers can also build really nice trellis work with canvas sheets that block out the sun. And lastly, part of landscaping may actually be an outdoor kitchen, right? It's really nice to be able to cook burgers and be able to jump in the pool directly afterwards. Again, this is not a part that usually pool builders take care of. There are some all-inclusive companies. If you're hiring a general contractor, many times they will include this in the entire package, but you want to make sure that you plan for that in advance. Next, we're going to talk about budget and ROI. Obviously, we all have budgets that we'd have to adhere to unless you've won the lottery, and if that's the case, you can go super big. And if that's the case, you can always give us a call to help you with your home, real estate, and mortgage needs. That's what we do on a day-to-day basis. There's a link down in the description to jump right into our calendars. You know, a pool can be one of the absolute best ways to relax and unwind from your busy and modern overworked life. But if all you can see is the expenses and the maintenance when you close your eyes, it may not be the right time. I highly advise that you have a talk with your financial advisor, whoever it is that's helping you manage your budget and your finances, to see if budgeting is something that is in the cards for you right now in this stage of life. And talk to your local realtor to see if adding the pool actually will give you a decent ROI when you go to resale in the next couple of years. That being said, not all things are based purely on ROI. What have you heard me say before, Sean?
There's ROL as well.
ROL, return on life. You know, we all do this sometimes. Maybe you parked your premium luxury vehicle in the driveway when a Toyota would have gotten you to and from work just fine, but you decided to spring on that premium vehicle because of the way that it makes you feel, because it's comfortable, because it's quiet, or maybe it's just got a lot of power, right? And so sometimes we make decisions that are based on the return on life they give us, not necessarily the return on investment. But that being said, a pool can be a great investment into the stress decrease on your life. Less stress, you live longer, you feel better. You treat your friends and your family better too. All that being said, you still need to go back and forth between this ROI and ROL and budget appropriately for what you're looking for. It might be wise to create a small contingency fund of 10 or 15% just in case you decide to add that small little extra item at the end. Now you've gone through all 8 of these so far. This is number 9. It's going to be comparing prices. Now, there are plenty of pool builders out there. You want to make sure you check their reviews, their online reputation. I would always go over experience in years than cheapness. Pay once, cry once, right? Having something going out and ripping it out and having to reinstall is going to be a very painful experience for you and can cause a ton of heartache. But you want to make sure that, you know, one pool builder might be super busy and be jacking up their prices a little bit because they don't need your work. But if you want the best of the best, you may have to jump on the wait list of that custom pool builder, or end up paying a premium because you want all of that custom work done for this unique legacy home that you've already invested in. Now, number 10 is a little bit hinted on what I said in number 9, which is make sure that you invest in a reputable builder. You know, you've cross-shopped, you've looked, right? You want to make sure that you have the right person, whether that is communication or customer service or a certain look or style of pool. You want your pool to be a place of rest and relaxation and recovery, and a place where you can invite friends and family over and something that you can be proud of. You don't want something that is going to be a nightmare product and break or not look great after the first few years of pool ownership. If you'd like a few recommendations, you can obviously reach out to us in the information below, and we'd love to help connect you with the right people. Until next time, peace.